The only thing constant is change.
If you're currently in the middle of a major life change yourself, then this episode is dedicated to you because we're going to be sharing all of our tips and how to continue living your life and being in the present moment while you're undergoing this major life change. One thing that we've learned with this major transition of selling our house to move into an RV full time is that life is still happening, even though we're in this big transition. And it's really important to stop and pause and continue living your life, even during this big transition.
Yeah, absolutely. Life's still going to continue moving on, and it's so important to not get stuck up in the future and really focus on the present.
Stick around until the end of the video because the last point number 3, is the most important point, and it's actually the one that people forget the most, and it really affects their lives negatively unless they are mindful of this thing and they learn how to overcome it and start living intentionally.
Yeah, we've went through this personally, so we really want to save you from some of the mistakes of avoiding this.
We're at a really cool spot. We're actually on this island. We paddleboarded, you can see our paddleboards in the background, to this island where this island is on part of Canada's side, and then across the river where is it?
Exactly, so that's Michigan. So we have Sarnia, Ontario, Canada on the one side, and then we have Port Huron, Michigan on the other side. So literally that is the US over there. There's like these red buoys that separate the border in the middle of the water out there, which is really cool. So
yeah, you could actually paddle there. It's pretty close if it wasn't like highly illegal to do so, but it's really cool because this water is it's beautiful and like turquoise blue. Yeah, it's one of our favorite spots to come paddleboarding. Yeah. It's not like the most calm if you like to stand up and paddleboard. It's pretty wavy, but we personally treat our paddleboards more so like a kayak. So for doing kayaking, paddleboarding, it's actually perfect.
Yeah, it's really nice. Yeah, so it's part of the Great Lakes system that is in Ontario and Michigan. And I believe part of, is it Wisconsin? I don't know if it goes that far, but anyway, so Lake Huron feeds into this lake here, which is really cool.
If you are following our channel and you've already subscribed, that's great. You're gonna see a lot of us outdoors, on the water, hiking, paddleboarding. Paddleboarding is like our favorite thing to do right now, and I was kind of wondering if people wanted to see our vlogs doing paddleboarding, but I actually feel like if you're into the RV lifestyle, you probably like some form of water activity or water sport. Like, let me know in the comments below, because I feel like if you're into the RV outdoorsy lifestyle, you either like paddleboarding, kayaking, canoeing, boating. Like, if we're sharing about paddleboarding, you can just translate that into whatever water activity you like to do personally. But for us, it's paddleboarding. So I was like, you know what? We're gonna show a lot of us paddleboarding because that's what we love to do. And I feel like you guys are gonna enjoy it because you like water activities to some degree. I feel like you kind of have to if you're into the RV lifestyle. Before we sit down, we packed a lunch like we always do. You guys know we like to pack lunches. So we're gonna go and sit down. Chad's getting a little hangry, so we need to feed him. And then we are going to start getting into our 3 points for this video. We wanted to kind of combine 3 things because we like those type of videos where we're delivering you guys value but also vlogging at the same time, because it's more fun for us to record while we're out doing something. And this is prime summertime for Canada, so we're going to be outside most of the time.
Beautiful day today. It's mid-July in Ontario, Canada, and it could not be nicer. It's like 30 to 40 degrees, which I believe is like 90 to 100 for our American friends. And yeah, we're just having a wonderful day out on the water, out on the lake. It's where we love to be. Packed a lunch. As Rebecca said, Chad's getting a little bit hangry. He needs to eat something, but yeah, we're glad you're hanging out with us.
Yeah, you're gonna come have some lunch with us. We're gonna go sit down and enjoy that and enjoy this view. Show you guys. Lots of people out on the water today enjoying this beautiful Canadian summer day. Fantastic. This is a really cool spot that we found this spot last time. Was it last weekend when we were here?
Yes.
And we're like, this island is actually really big. There's actually quite a few cottages on the island, and there's no transportation on the island. People have bikes, and I don't even know if they have golf carts or whatever, but they have to actually boat from the mainland to this island. But there's tons of cottages and houses I'll show you guys on the island. It's really, really cool, and I think that If you had a cottage like that where you couldn't really there's no stores or anything, it's just like really remote cottagey.
Exactly. So it's super cool. So you have like the Ontario, there's an island in Canada, and then, or the mainland, and then you take this like little boat that takes you to this Canadian part of an island. And then if you keep going to the other side, then that's the Michigan side, which is the Michigan mainland. So basically this island that is right in the middle of both US and Canada. Really cool.
Let's go have some lunch.
Tip number one is don't stop your routine amongst the change. So this is something that's really important to me. Anytime I've been going through any major life change or things are really busy or hectic, I always make sure that I stick to my routines that keep my sanity, that keep my happiness. Now, obviously those routines are not gonna look the exact same as when you have no change going on and all the time in the world. Maybe you have to adapt it a little bit, and that's okay. Give yourself grace. Many times with our business back in the day, let's say it was a really busy time of year and I couldn't do my routine the exact way that I wanted to, I didn't aim for perfection. I just tried to do things but the thing is, here's the key, is I didn't stop and abandon it altogether. So many times people will literally just abandon routine because they're just directing their focus to the chaos or the change or whatever is overwhelming that aspect of their lives. And so, for example, for me, I love running. And so a big part of my routine is to make sure I get my runs in each day. And so, for example, when we were really busy or any life change that has been happening, maybe you don't have time to run as much as you like, or maybe you don't have time to be as creative as much as you like, or whatever gets you that sort of soothing thing of your wellness. That's okay, but you just don't want to abandon it altogether. So maybe I'm not running every day, I might run every other day or a couple times a week, and that's okay. And it really helps to ground my sanity, my happiness throughout that transition, because we can't change how fast the change is gonna happen. And this is the tricky part with, when we're waiting for our house to sell. It's like, it's a beautiful time here in Canada, weather's amazing, and it would be so easy just to get wrapped up in that change and not actually do anything to keep you moving forward. So highly recommend that. Whatever works for you, stick with the routine. Could be eating healthy, making sure that you meditate, go to bed early, unwind, whatever your routine looks like. Still make sure that you stick to that, because otherwise you're just going to drive yourself nuts.
Tip number 2 is do what matters today and literally forget everything else, because if you're anything like me, I want to do everything all at once, but primarily I want to do what's more exciting. And obviously preparing for RV life, doing research on RV life, like that is mentally where I'm at, because I'm so excited about this lifestyle. And I know that we're really going to love it. Yes, it comes with some compromises, it comes with a lot of big changes, but the more time we spend in this waiting period, the more sure I become about this lifestyle being for us. So it's so easy for me to get so consumed in the planning, the packing, the decluttering. Like, my mind is permanently in RV town, basically, okay? But what I realized was that I was sacrificing the present moment and grounding myself, and I was really putting off a lot of things that need to get done in our daily life right now. And that was causing a lot of stress and anxiety, because I wasn't doing point number 1 that Chad just talked about, I was neglecting my routine because you guys know when you get so excited to do something new, that's what consumes all your thoughts. Like if you remember, like, you know, if you're married and you were planning your wedding, like during that year or however many months you spent planning your wedding, that was all that consumed you, right? And you probably drove your friends and your family nuts because all you would ever talk about was your wedding and your favors and the cake and, you know, all of this stuff. But you neglect to live your daily life. And so what I realized when I noticed this happening, because it's just not healthy. It's not healthy for any human to just like scrap their daily routine that Chad just talked about, allow yourself to get so consumed by what's exciting you the most that you forget about everything else and everything else falls to the wayside. So what I learned to do only within the last month or so, full transparency here, this is not something that I am a pro at, it's just something that I learned how to do recently because I'm just so, when you're that excited about something, the fact of like not having it or not being in that lifestyle, it kind of makes you annoyed that you're not where you want to be. So it can create a lot of frustration and impatience. And so what I learned to do was to make a list, like make a master list of all the things that need to get done and break them down into stages, right? So depending on where you're at right now, I'm just going to use our life, for example. We're in the process of selling our house and moving into an RV. So our house is for sale. So there's a lot of things that I can't do right now. Like we have a lot of stuff we need to sell, but because we're using it for staging of our house, and I mean, we're using a lot of our furniture right now, and you know, our bed is sleeping in our bed. So we can't sell all of those things right now. I have to wait until the house sells and then I'll have stuff to do. So if you break it down into categories like, okay, this is what I need to do when I list my house for sale, and you list all of the things you need to do. Then list, okay, once the house is for sale, then what are some things that I need to do? And you could put in there like decluttering, going through your closet, going through the kitchen. You can break it down even further than that. And then after the house sells, then what do you need to do? Because there's a lot of things, like I just said. So after our house sells, we are going to need to sell all of our furniture. We're going to need to start packing and organizing our belongings. We're going to need to plan the next step if we buy the RV right away, or do we need to go and rent somewhere for the meantime until we find the RV that we actually want to get. And then after that, then what is the next step from there? Once we move out of our home, plan it that way and make a master list so you know the tasks that you need to do, because once you get them out of your head and onto paper, I promise you that you will feel so much better and you'll be able to get back into your more normal routine, which will make you feel better, and it will allow you to stay more grounded and more present in the present moment. And it's really important to do that for your own mental well-being, but also for your family and your friends. Like, there's nothing worse. I know you guys know this. Like, think about a friend, right? That's so, well, the wedding example that I just gave. Think about that example and like how if you have a friend that's all they ever talk about, they don't have the mental capacity to like ask how you're doing or, you know, see anything outside of what is in their tunnel of excitement vision, it drives you nuts. So you don't want to be that person to anybody else in your life. So be mindful of that, right? Because especially if you're pursuing the RV lifestyle, there's going to be a time where it's not going to be as convenient to have, you know, people over, or if you're in a different location than they are, it's going to be, the logistics of that are going to be a lot more challenging. So take advantage of this time now to live in the present, spend more time with your family and friends, and get all of this stuff on paper, and only set aside time to reflect on this list for like 10 or 20 minutes a day, and then move on to your daily routine and get back into what your daily life would be like. Tip number 3, and this is the one that we talked about in the beginning of the video that most people forget or they neglect like big time, and that is to get your priorities straight.
Absolutely.
It's so easy to get consumed and caught up in the excitement of what the next step of your life is going to be, that you totally neglect your health, your wellness, your routines like we were talking about earlier, and you just let that go to the wayside because you spend so much time on your phone, scrolling, watching other people living vicariously through other YouTubers or Instagrammers who are already living this lifestyle, and you start to neglect yourself, and over time that's really you're gonna feel it, right?
Exactly.
It's not gonna be good.
Yeah, and I think one of the biggest lessons that we've learned kind of being patient throughout this transitionary process and it not happening as soon as we think that we would have liked is that it really helps us understand that, you know, just simply being in an RV full time and not in our house is not going to change our life in a sense.
Not your
right?
daily routine.
It's not going
That's
to
such a
change
good
the
point.
daily routine. And a big thing that Rebecca and I plan on doing is when we actually become full-time RV livers, I'll get that right eventually, is that we don't plan on moving like every week, right? We're not gonna, like, we plan on finding some really cool spots that we love and hanging out there for like a good couple months.
Yeah.
Because we really want to make sure that our routines and everything is you know, on point. We want to to enhance our lifestyle, not to make it more like go. Like that's the whole reason why we shut down our business and why we want to have, you know, this lifestyle is we want a simplistic, more intentional way of living. And obviously, if we're just like go all the time, that's no different than just being in the suburbs and go to the store, go here, got to do this, got to do that, right? No, that's not what we're looking to do.
Yeah, we don't really live that kind of way right now. And so actually that's a good point that you brought up, because we've done a lot of traveling. Like we did home exchange, Airbnbs, we did do a lot of traveling, and we did it like very frequently, like periods of time where we were not home for very long, and we realized that we really felt like shit from traveling that much and not getting into our routine. It was so busy. We felt exhausted. We stopped eating like super healthy because we would eat out more. We would try more restaurants. Like we did all of those things. So now we recognize that that's not the way that we like to travel. We like the idea of staying in a place for at least 2 or 3 months at a time so that we can establish a routine and we can get to know the area. We don't have to feel so rushed. And if the weather's crappy, then we just wait there until the weather's good and just do what we want to do at that point. Exactly. Because we've done a lot of traveling where we felt super rushed and we got really far out of our routine. Because if you're in a different new environment frequently, that stimulates your dopamine levels and they start to get really messed up.
Yeah, you get burnt out.
Really messed up. Well, the dopamine, what happens is you're in a new place all the time, so your dopamine goes off and it's like, oh, this is exciting. And then you go into like vacation mode where you want ice cream every single night. You want to go out to restaurants all the time. Like your dopamine triggers you to need and want higher levels of dopamine. So if you're traveling really frequently, you would notice that that's going to happen.
Exactly.
And it will it will suck you out of your routine very easily. So.
That's right. Yeah. I mean, it's a never-ending battle, that loop of just kind of chasing the next thing. And so.
And chasing the excitement of it.
Exactly. And so if you're a weekender looking to go full-time, then one thing I would encourage you to sort of sit back and reflect on is that this lifestyle should enhance your life. It should be an add-on to your life, but it shouldn't be the cure that fixes everything. Like anything in life, nothing that you change in the external world, not meant to obviously fill an entire void, right? Yeah. Like this is something that's supposed to just enhance, be an add-on to your life. And I think that is a really big lesson that we've been learning and trying to be patient with this. And also, like Rebecca said, when we were doing home exchanges and trading houses, for those of you who don't know what that means, we trade houses with other people. There's no money exchange. It is just the accommodation. And so, yeah, there was not a lot of cost involved in that, similar to the being an RV. But the thing is we realized we were doing them like, once a month, every few weeks sometimes. It's crazy. And we had no time to unwind. And we thought this would solve all of our, this will make us happy, right? The whole thing. But the thing is, the only thing that'll make you happy is yourself, and then things that you do in addition to that.
Yeah, and the thing is, when you are going to new places so frequently, not only does it really stimulate and trigger that dopamine for you to need more next time and a higher dose of dopamine, but also what happens is that excitement, it sticks around for like the first couple weeks that you're in a new location. So obviously when you're in a new location, you want to like go do the things, you want to explore, you want to see what it all has to offer. And that initial excitement, if you don't ride that out until you get settled into a normal routine and you just keep going to the next place, to the next place, to the next place, you're never going to get into a routine. And that's really detrimental. As humans, we need routine, even if we don't really I don't really like the idea of routine. I get bored easily. I don't like feeling like I need to be somewhere at a certain time. I don't like schedules. I don't like alarm clocks, but I do like some kind of normalcy where I can, cook my own meals throughout the day. I can get into a routine that works for me. Because even if you don't like routines, you still have one.
Exactly.
And you still
So
need to have one.
we're weird creatures as humans where we need certainty and uncertainty at the same time. So if you're doing too much uncertainty, like I said, traveling every few days, and like that is just uncertainty galore. Yeah, it's fun and exciting for a short period of time, but then all of a sudden the certainty side of you is like, I need some certainty and stability, and then you like don't go anywhere, and then you're like, okay, this is certain and whatever, and then like now I need excitement, and you kind of do this.
You kind of got to go back and forth, and be flexible of going back and
flexible
forth.
and live in the moment as you're bouncing between both of those sides of the world.
And you'll notice too, if you guys obviously watch other YouTubers who pursue this lifestyle, that anybody who says that they're ending RV life, you know, you'll see those clickbait ones where they'll be like, oh, this is the end of RV life. It's usually not, because I haven't seen a lot of people who actually truly want to end it once they begin it. But they will say that they are burnt out and they are doing it very differently because they travel too frequently. Like they change spots every week or every couple of weeks, and it's just so tiring to set up and reset up and get used to a new location. Think about, you don't even know where the grocery stores are, where the hospital is, like where anything is.
We've talked about this many times before, is that when you're traveling really frequently, you got to use a different part of your brain.
It's
we traveled all over the world, you know, many years ago, obviously not in an RV, but you know, just through road trips and planes. And so every time you go on like a trip, I mean, you're having to, okay, what about this? What about, you're using your brain, and that's why you feel exhausted. So, you know, we're really looking to enhance our lifestyle, kind of get a home base in a moving home base.
Yeah, the best of both worlds.
Yeah, best of both worlds, right? And that's what it's all about. The external world is going to actually, excuse me, I may have swallowed a bug. That's the fun part of travel.